For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach give us that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach give us that order.
And talk about how they're so good. I'm such a good person. I agree with everything you're saying until it's time to actually put that work in. Right. Until it's actually time to walk the walk instead of just talking the talk. Right. This is the problem that we keep finding ourselves with the people that we're trying to be cool with when the Bible have already told us that, listen, they are not upright. Right. And wickedness is totally, their spirit is made up of a wicked stock, right? They're of a crooked seed and nothing straight can come from it. What's up? Okay, bring it out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21.
I'm coming to you right now.
It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The Bible actually warned us of skiles. The words of his mouth, smoother than butter, right? They always talk a good game. They always want to give us all of these false promises of how good they want to be, of how much they want to change from the past. But guess what? He thinks that the past is just limited to how bad that they treated us. No. In treating us bad comes all the lies and the false promises that they told us. Right. Remember, listen, yes, I'm going to bring it up. The 40 acres and the goddamn mule. Where's that at? It's a lie. It was a way to pacify us, and it was a way for us at the time of the Reconstruction, when we were already rising up and rebelling against our plantation and slave owners. Right. They had to give us false promises to get us up off their ass. Bring it out.
It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Go ahead.
But war was in his heart.
But we understood and knew that war was in his heart. And we definitely, in this Confederate area that had the war in their heart, that when we would let our plantations, promises was made to us, they didn't uphold that. Right. That was it? Yeah. Bring it out.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17. Bring it out. The person who tells one side of the story seems right until someone else comes and asks questions.
Read it again.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17. Bring it out. The person who tells one side of a story seems right.
The person who tells one side of a story seems right. And again, they always want to come to us with these false promises, and they want to talk this good game. Words smoother than butter, right? And soft as oil. They want to tell us that, and he seems right when he tells that one side of the story. Go ahead.
Until someone else comes and asks questions.
Until someone else comes and asks questions, where I get to confront whether or not you actually are a good person.
Right.
Hey, what's going on with this white woman right here? Chelsea Handler, come here. What was she talking about, sis? She's over here trying to make peace.
She asked me what was your name, like it's not on your shirt.
Exactly, right? Because they weren't hooked on phonics in their household, right? It's wild stuff. But again, we come out, we ask questions, we pose, and we challenge the status quo of whether or not they are good people, whether or not they actually want to do right by the people that they robbed, murdered, and enslaved, whether or not they actually have intention within their heart for a better tomorrow. Right. Telling me to have to forget about yesterday is not the way or not the path to achieve a better tomorrow, right? We actually have to execute viable suggestions and functional solutions, right? What you have?
Sirach 12.
Bring it out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, starting at verse 10.
Bring it out.
It says, never trust your enemy.
Never trust your enemy. And the problem with our people is that they don't even think that we have enemies. They don't even think and believe that these people are our enemies, which is why I always go through the exercise of what the hell is the first thing that goes in your mind when you're at the bottom of a ship chained up to your fellow comrades and your brothers and sisters.
Right.
What the hell is going through your mind when they let you off that boat in a land that you have no understanding of, force you to work on plantation from sun up to sundown? Right? Where they take your name, your language, your custom, your culture away from you. Right. What the hell is in your mind? And why is it not fighting against those things to preserve who you are or to fight to get back to who you were? Right. And that's what we are here to do right now. So the Bible is telling us to never trust our enemies. Go ahead. Romans 13 and 11. High time to wake out of sleep. And then we're going to get Deuteronomy 30. For like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Because they could talk a good game, but we read earlier, war is in his heart. And that war is going to come out eventually. You want to know why? Because when they start to recognize, when we actually are operating on an equal playing field, that we're going to start to surpass them. We're going to create such a significant separation in how great we are with and where they plateau and where they cap out at. they're going to have to start to move by deceptive and corrupt and destructive means in order for them to even have a chance.
Right.
Like I said, they gave us a chance on that football field. They gave us a chance on that basketball court. They gave us a chance on that baseball diamond. And when they did, they started to see exactly how we start to dominate. But they never gave us that same chance in the office, in the front office. And as soon as they do, they're going to start to see how the tables turn. That's when we're going to start to see that iron, that rush. We're going to see that wickedness come out, and we're going to see that war in his heart. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm not mad at you, because if I was inferior the same way, I probably would do the same damn thing. I thank the Most High God every day that He created me stronger, better, and of a different manner than He created you.
That's right.
So I don't have to worry about that. All I got to do is have to worry about recognizing that I'm an Israelite. I'm a true child of God. I got to recognize my responsibility that the Most High gave me to uphold and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments. And from there, guess what? He will put me above all nations. He will make my enemies my footstool. And I will continue to rule over this entire people forevermore, because the world gave me the world and made it for our sakes. That's the day we're looking for. Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 9. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
The people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. This is the same type of understanding and perception that these other nations have had on us from the time that the Lord delivered us out of Egypt.
Right.
They've always felt that way, right? But let's see how they then had to maneuver when they realized just how mighty we are and how strong we were, right? Go ahead.
It says, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falls out any war, they join also into our enemies.
It said they dealt wisely with us,
right?
And their wisdom was dealt and was utilized from the perspective of what possibly could happen if they joined themselves unto other nations, right? If another nation wanted to wage war against these people, they had fear in their heart that because of how mighty and strong we were, that we might join up with these other nations and fight against them. That's the place from which they are utilizing such wisdom, right? Go ahead.
It says, Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falls out any war, they join also into our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens.
They set up people that was over us. They set up people that was over us to afflict us. And in that affliction, it was supposed to, quote unquote, set us straight. It was supposed to put that level of doubt, that level of insecurity, that level of inferiority over us, that we would have no way, that we would have no outlet to get from up under their thumb or their oppression. But again, it was at that time that we cried unto our God. We cried unto the Most High God, Yahweh is His name, and He heard us from heaven. And what He do? He sent forth saviors. Listen, one in particular being Moses, that delivered us out of that hellhole of Egypt that which we was in. And guess what? He gave us our own land. All praise to the Most High for that. That was it on that? This is why it's important for us to recognize the day. Matter of fact, hold that. Give me Deuteronomy 4 before we get Romans. Give me Deuteronomy 4 and read verse 9. This is why it's important for us to come out here. A lot of people think that this is an abrasive thing, right? When we coming against other nations, yeah, it can be abrasive. But this is so rooted. This is so grounded in something called love. Genuine love, right? Things that we coming out here and putting ourselves on the line, inconveniences our time to wake our people up out of this sleep. All right? You have enemies. You have people that really are not for you. Even though y'all can dance and boogie together, even though y'all can go and toast and take shots with each other, these people do not want you to achieve your actual greatness, because your greatness will always surpass them. Right. If your greatness will surpass them, why would they ever encourage you to be better than them? Right. The only time that a white man wants to encourage you to be better with them is on a physical level, so that they can control you in the front office. Them black and Hispanic men that's going to take the field tomorrow, we understand. They can kick anybody's ass on the damn front office. But the so-called white men know they'll always make money off of you, and they'll always be able to control you in that manner. They can control your mind, and therefore they control your body. That's why you bust your ass, man, and you go and take them hits every damn day just so that you can go and shuck and jive and buck dance for their dollars. Bring that out. Deuteronomy 4:9. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9.
Bring it out.
Only take heed to yourselves.
Only take heed to yourselves, you black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. It is about us. Nobody else. We are who we have to look out for. We are who we have to work for. We are who we have to serve. We are who we have to love. First, to only take heed to yourselves. Read.
Only take heed to yourself and keep your soul diligently.
And keep your soul diligently, right? What is your soul? It's your conscience. Because when we sit up and we have this conversation about right and wrong, when we have this conversation about what justice is, we oftentimes have people pervert what that looks like. That's why when we say, well, with what you guys did to us, the same thing is coming back to you, and they say, well, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. Well, how do we establish justice without it? That's what our enemies will tell us. They don't want justice to be served. They don't want to right any wrongs that they've done. They want to sell us whoop tickets. They want to speak to us with smooth words and softer than oil. But war is actually in their heart. If we actually pushed for the things that we talk about, they would be mounting up. And you see them already, man. They in these damn tanks. They're in these damn trucks. They all fully geared up from head to toe. And they ready for the day to come. But guess what? Their arms are too short to box with our God, Yahweh is his name. That's right. And their arms are too short to box with his son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai is his name, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ.
Right.
Read.
Only take heed to yourself and keep your soul diligently.
Why is it important for us to keep our conscience and our mind diligent? Why? Go ahead.
Unless you forget the things which your eyes have seen.
See, our people, and the way that our oppressor and the way that our enemy works, they simply create this big event and this big showcase for this whole weekend. They allow us to participate, and then we tend to forget the things that they've done to us. Right. Our soul and our mind tends to forget the things that have been done. Ain't that right, Jay? Right? Because if I remembered, if I knew better, I would put my foot up your ass a long time ago. But I'm waiting on my God. I'm waiting on my Lord. Right? Because the day is going to come. Well, listen, you're going to be tied up with a damn tire, man. We're going to light that thing on fire. All praise to the Most High. Go ahead.
Unless your eyes forget unless you forget the things which your eyes have seen, and unless they depart from your heart.
Unless they depart from your heart. In the Bible, when it mentions your heart, it's dealing with your mind. We cannot let the things that we speak about and discuss and what happened to us in the past depart from our mind. Because if we forget, then we tend to run the same route and allow the same thing to happen to us. But guess what? That's why we come out here week in and week out, and we take advantage of these type of times and events where we can go and remind our people the things that have happened. Right. Because when they depart of our mind, we tend to forget that we're the children of God, and it's our responsibility to bring justice back to this place and righteousness. Right. Read.
And unless they depart from your heart all the days of your life, but teach them to your sons and your sons' sons. Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy God in Horeb.
Teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. We got to pass this thing down. This is an inheritance that we have. Not only just in the mind, but our land. Go ahead.
Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy God in Horeb.
Especially the day that we stood before the Lord God in Horeb. Who here knew that the so-called history of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians goes back to the children of God when they stood before God in the mountain of Horeb? Right. How many people know that? A lot of us don't, because we violated this law, which is keeping our soul diligent, not forgetting the things that our eyes have seen, and passing these things down to our sons and our sons' sons. We are the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the Israelites you read about in the Bible. We are the ones that God delivered out of Egypt. We the ones that God led through the wilderness for 40 years. We the ones that the Most High God stood before and gave his righteous and holy law before and gave us the instruction to uphold it. That is us. We are those people. And it's time for us to wake up out of this sleep that we've been in and come back and fulfill this responsibility. Go ahead.
Romans 13?
Yeah, Romans 13. Read out.
This is the book of Romans chapter 13, verse 11. Bring it out. And that knowing the time.
Real quick. I'll give you that. But before we do, hold on, 2 seconds before we do.
Absolutely.
Why do you want to give us that? Tell me. Because I know you've been hearing us, and it compels you to come give us that. What did you hear that you liked? What stood out to you? Have you been listening?
Yes, I've been in and out actually.
You've been in and out, but you've been listening, right? Do you know what we're up here about?
Are you trying to embarrass me?
No. Why would I want to try to embarrass you? I said I'll give you a dab. I just said, but before we do, I just want to understand why you want to come give us dab. If you're going to establish yourself as an ally, I just want to know who we're dealing with. My name is Taz. What's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jessica comes up, wants to give Taz a dab. I just want to know why. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I just want to know why. Is me asking you that question, is that embarrassing you?
It was aggressive.
It was aggressive.
I just wanted to
So me telling you that I'll give you the dap, even though he left you hanging, I turned around and said, I'll give you dap, and I just wanted to know what stood out to you as to what we said. That was aggressive? I'm being mean to you? Jessica, can I explain something to you? Do you know that I'm going to explain the problem? You said, what's the problem? That's the question. I'm going to give you an answer. The problem is that there is a history of so-called white people that when they talk to black people and black people respond, you equate it or you let it register in your mind as aggressive and being mean. I don't know what I've said mean to you when I've literally introduced myself formally and respectfully. I told you that I would extend the gesture of good faith between us with the dap, and I just asked you a simple question, and in response you called me aggressive? That's called gaslighting, Jessica, and only narcissists gaslight, Jessica. And I don't need you to white woman explain it to me as to the question that I asked. I asked you very sincerely, I addressed you in such great decorum, and you turn around and you call me aggressive. Now I'm offended. Are you going to make that right? Are you going to reconcile with me?
About this fucking Confederate flag.
Oh, now you're going to curse at me?
They're oppressive. I'm sorry that I care about people.
You care about people?
I care about empathy. I'm sorry, I care about the fucking world.
Do you empathize with me?
I empathize with everyone.
What about me?
I empathize with everyone who deserves empathy.
What about me?
It's a human fucking trait.
Do you empathize with me?
Do I know you?
That's the reason why I asked, why do you want to adapt for me?
Because I empathize with every human being who is in a struggle, including women, minorities, and fucking LGBTQ people. I stand with that, and that is why I wanted to give you a dap, because I stand with you.
Okay, in what way do you stand with me?
Because I stand against.
In what way?
I stand against what's going on right now.
What in terms of what we're talking about, what is going on that we're advocating against?
Why are you being like that?
I'm having a conversation with you, Jessica. You don't understand that? You said you stand with us, and I'm saying, in what way? Is that an aggressive question? In what way do you stand with us?
Very combative for no reason.
I'm combative.
All I'm saying is that, like, I agree, and I'm very.
You agree with what, Jessica? With what? My problem is you telling me that you agree with me, and I just want to know what you agree with. And every time I ask you,
I just actually told you what I agree with.
You did not tell me what you agree with me.
I actually didn't.
You said you agree as a human being with oppression and struggle, and you're telling me that with all the minorities, with women, you said LGBT.
I am a woman.
I didn't say that you weren't a woman.
Rights, I believe in abortion rights. I believe in all of those things.
So you believe in killing babies?
Oh, okay. All right, you got it.
Is abortion killing babies? Why don't you empathize with them? Why don't you empathize with the babies? Why don't you empathize with the babies? Ain't that wild? People gonna come up and say, oh, well, I advocate and I empathize. Well, why don't you empathize with the life in the womb that is being killed with what you're advocating for with abortion? All right, you're having conflicting issues. You see what I'm saying? This is why they always seem right initially until someone searches them out and asks them questions. You ask them questions, she wanted to give us a dap and couldn't even tell me why. Well, I empathize with you. In what way do you empathize? I asked a simple question like that. You know what she turned around and tell me? I'm aggressive and I'm being mean. Yeah, aggressive. The angry black man, right? We hear this far too much. It's far too often that they tell us to try to paint this narrative when I've done nothing aggressive to her. I literally told her I was going to give her a dap, and I would have. I don't lose nothing by giving her a dap, but before I do, what are we dapping to? What are we going to toast to? They think that the way white people think that they're good people is going around tapping black people on the shoulder, giving daps and high fives and singing. You want to know why? Because the depths that they went to in the height of their sickness and in history, they didn't even want to touch us. They couldn't even exchange change with us because they felt like if they touched it, they'd turn black. So the least they could do is give us a high five and a handshake. But in the midst of that happening, how do we then turn around and move forward to a better tomorrow without you being able to answer a simple question of what exactly do you empathize with me on? Again, that's why we're not out here to talk to them. We're out here for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians.
Right.
Now is the time when we start to see the height of Esau, the so-called white man's wickedness. It's time for us to wake up out of the sleep. It's time for us to take back what God gave us. And it ain't just an identity. It ain't just a culture or language. It's the entire damn world.
Right.
What's going on, Jessica? You want to continue the conversation, or you keep mean mugging me? All right? Now you're being mean to me, Jessica. You're being mean to me, Jessica. Are you being mean and it's hurting my feelings? Are you going to apologize? Come here. Listen, let's make amends. It's a clear path. You see how it opened up? It's a clear pathway to make amends. Let's do it. Let's make amends. Come on. Come on, let's make amends.
Exactly.
Let's make amends, Jessica. Come on. See? You're full of shit, Jessica.
Right.
Yep, thank you. Then look at there. She goes. I knew that was going to get you. Why would me telling you you're a piece of shit get you to come back up here, but me wanting to make amends with what you won't? Why would me telling you you're a piece of shit get you to come back, but me telling you I want to make amends won't get you to come back up here? Because you are the devil that the Bible speaks of. You're a goddamn devil, Jessica. You're a goddamn devil. Bring it out.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 14. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly.
It says, the Bible says that they have healed the hurt of the daughter of the children of Israel slightly. Because they're only going to give you little small gestures here and there.
Right.
Things that don't take no effort. And even Jessica coming to make amends took no effort, and she still wouldn't have gave us that.
Right.
If Jessica had a pocket full of fucks, she wouldn't have gave us one.
Right.
But then want to turn around and tell us how much she likes and approves and advocates for us and empathizes with us. Jessica's a piece of trash. Bring it out.
It says they have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly.
Go ahead.
Saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
They slightly heal the hurt of our people by declaring peace when there is no peace, and they actually don't want to do what's necessary to accomplish peace.
Right.
Because to accomplish peace, it's going to come with more than just words. It's going to come with more than just policies. We've seen the so-called white men create policies that's supposed to help their people that they oppress, and guess what? They reneged on it.
Right.
We've seen them go and give money to the people that they repent, and then they turn around and oppress them even more.
Right.
We had this damn devil Gerald come up and say, oh, well, in Louisiana, they were paying slaves. Stupid, you're still calling them slaves, retard.
Right.
They healed the hurt of our people slightly by saying peace where there is no peace. That's it on that?
Yeah.
Go back, get to that Romans 13. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach give us that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach give us that order.